Most people believe the more books you read, the smarter you get. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? In fact, the way you've been reading might be the reason you don't remember half the stuff you've read. Let's be real. How many times have you finished a book, closed it, and thought, what did I just read? Or worse, read something, felt smart in the moment, but couldn't recall a single useful takeaway a week later? The truth is, most of us are reading the wrong way. We're stuck in this mindset of finishing books from cover to cover, thinking that completing the book is the achievement. But here's the hard truth. Reading isn't about finishing, it's about retaining. You've probably tried speed reading, maybe even tried forcing your eyes to follow a finger or cramming words into your brain at breakneck speed. Guess what? That's not working either. Why? Because real reading isn't about speed, it's about results. Here's the kicker. If you're not growing from the books you're reading, you're not reading the right way. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to completely transform the way you read. So every page you turn actually sticks with you and improves your life. Before we dive into this game-changing approach, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. If you're serious about leveling up your life, whether it's in productivity, mindset, or personal growth, you're in the right place. Every week, we bring you actionable insights that'll make your goals feel achievable. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because let's be real, your future self will thank you. Now let's talk about why speed reading doesn't work. Sure, it sounds impressive when someone says they can finish a 300-page book in an hour. But here's the thing. Finishing fast doesn't mean retaining. Think about your brain like a sponge. If you dump a gallon of water on it all at once, most of it spills out. But if you pour slowly and give the sponge time to absorb, it holds more water. Your brain works the same way. When you speed read, you're forcing your brain to skim through words, but there's no time to make meaningful connections or store that information in your long-term memory. It's like reading someone's name at a party and forgetting it 5 seconds later. Here's another fun fact. Even the neuroscience backs this up. Your brain needs time to build new connections between ideas. Speed reading skips this critical step. What's worse, you're only remembering surface-level information, which you'll forget the moment you close the book. So if speed reading isn't the answer, what is? Let me show you how to read smarter, not faster. Here's the paradigm shift. Reading isn't about consuming every word. It's about finding the ones that truly matter. Think of it like panning for gold. You wouldn't waste time picking up every single rock in a stream. Instead, you'd sift through the dirt, searching for those shiny nuggets of value. Reading should work the same way. Not all words are created equal. Many authors pad their books with fluff, examples that drag on, redundant phrases, or filler content meant to stretch the word count. You don't have to feel guilty about skipping these parts. In fact, learning to strategically bypass irrelevant sections is the key to becoming a smarter reader. Here's how to approach a book like a pro. Start with the table of contents, which acts like your treasure map, pointing you to the most valuable sections. Next, read summaries or reviews before diving in. Think of these as cheat codes that give you a quick overview of what's worth your attention. Finally, set a clear purpose for your reading. Ask yourself, why am I reading this book? What am I hoping to learn? When you start reading with intention, every book transforms into an adventure, full of discoveries, rather than a chore to be completed. Here's a 3-step framework that will completely transform the way you read. First, prepare before you open the book. Think of this step as creating a blueprint. Before you start reading, take a moment to understand the structure of the book. Skim through the headings, read the introduction, and scan key sections. This process helps you build a skeleton of the book, giving you a clear idea of what's worth diving into and what can safely be skipped. Next, read actively, not passively. Be ruthless with your time and approach your reading like a book editor. If a paragraph feels like fluff, skip it. When you find a section packed with valuable insights, reread it until you've extracted every nugget of wisdom. Don't hesitate to highlight important points, annotate in the margins, or summarize key ideas in your own words. These small habits ensure you stay engaged and focused. Finally, apply what you learn immediately. This is the true secret to effective reading. Don't just consume information. Connect the dots and make it stick. Teach someone else what you've learned. Debate the ideas with a friend, or write about them to organize your thoughts. By actively engaging with the material, you transform it into long-term knowledge that stays with you. Hey, If this framework is already making you rethink your approach to reading, you'll love our video. This morning routine is scientifically proven to make you limitless. It's packed with actionable habits that'll supercharge your productivity. Check it out after this video. Now that you know the framework, let's take it to the next level with some powerful exercises that will help you never forget what you've read. These techniques are designed to deepen your understanding, connect new knowledge to real-life situations, and even improve the way you think. Start with the review. After every chapter, or even every few pages, pause and ask yourself, what is the author really saying? Break the content down by questioning whether the information is new and how it relates to what you already know. Think of this exercise like journaling in your head. This simple habit forces your brain to slow down and actively process what you're reading, helping you retain the material rather than skimming over it. Next, try the debate. Don't just accept everything the author says at face value. Instead, challenge their ideas by playing devil's advocate. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Could the author be wrong? If I had to argue against this point, what would I say? This back-and-forth process helps you think critically, make deeper connections, and solidify the material in your memory by engaging with it on a deeper level. Then move on to the professor exercise. Pretend you're teaching what you've read to someone else. Summarize the content in simple terms, explain it to a friend, or even record yourself giving a TED Talk on the subject. Teaching forces you to simplify and organize the material, making it easier to remember. It's like turning knowledge into glue. It sticks because you've made it your own. Finally, consider future you. After finishing a book, ask yourself, how does this change my life? Take what you've learned and create actionable steps to implement it. If the book offered a life-changing insight, commit to doing one thing differently because of it. Remember, the goal of reading isn't just to consume information, but to transform your life through meaningful application. By incorporating these exercises into your reading routine, you'll turn passive consumption into active learning, ensuring the knowledge stays with you and enhances your life in measurable ways. To make the process of smarter reading even easier, there are a few tools and hacks that can elevate your reading game to the next level. Start by using summaries as your map. Before diving into a book, check out tools like Blinkist, SparkNotes, or even free summaries on YouTube or Wikipedia. These aren't meant to replace the book, but rather serve as trailers that highlight the main points, helping you decide where to focus your attention and what's worth your time. Leverage AI-powered assistance for an added edge. Tools like ChatGPT can generate quick overviews, clarify complex ideas, or even summarize chapters in real time. It's like having your own reading assistant, ready to break down tricky concepts or provide context on demand. Always approach a book with a purpose by reading with a question in mind. Have a clear goal before you start, such as, how can I improve my productivity? Or, what can this book teach me about leadership? This focus allows you to zero in on the most relevant sections and filter out unnecessary information, making your reading both efficient and effective. Finally, rethink your approach to note-taking. Traditional note-taking can sometimes be a trap, leading you to mindlessly jot down everything without truly processing it. Instead, focus on actively engaging with the material in your mind. If something is genuinely important, you'll remember it because you've connected with the idea rather than just copying it. By combining these tools and hacks, you'll transform reading from a passive activity into a strategic and impactful learning experience. Let's take a moment to understand why this approach is so powerful. When you engage actively with a book, you're using the executive functions of your brain, your decision-making and critical thinking areas. This is where real learning happens. Passive reading, on the other hand, is like watching TV. It's easy, but you don't retain much. By using the strategies we've covered, like building a map, skipping fluff, and teaching what you've learned, you're creating lasting neural connections. This is backed by neuroscience, neurons that fire together, wire together. The more actively you engage with a book, the more deeply the information is embedded in your memory. And here's the best part. This approach works for any type of reading, whether it's self-help books, textbooks, or even technical manuals. Once you start reading smarter, you'll never go back. Let's wrap this up with a challenge for you. The next time you pick up a book, start by building your map. Read a summary or skim through the structure to get a clear overview of what's ahead. Then, set a clear purpose for your reading. Ask yourself what you want to learn or achieve from this book. As you read, be ruthless about skipping fluff and focusing only on the sections that truly matter. Finally, take what you've learned and apply it immediately. Teach it to someone else. Debate the ideas with a friend, or write about it to solidify the knowledge in your mind. If you follow these steps, you'll retain more from one book than you would from 10 read the old way. Now that you've unlocked this game-changing way to read, don't stop here. Check out our video, the 10-10-10 rule. Make better decisions faster. It's packed with insights that will help you approach decision-making with clarity and confidence. Trust me, you'll thank yourself for watching it.